And we welcome you to the post Survivor Series edition of This Is Wrestling. It is Versage and a fired up Zach McGibbon. It's not that I'm not fired up, but I just have a feeling it's going to be difficult to get to the level of Hornsey. Zach, how are you?
I'm fired up, Versage. I have been looking forward to this review as soon as the show ended. And for Survivor Series last night as we were recording, I was thinking maybe we could save it till Monday and we could get our review out. I'm sure it'll be a lot will happen and we could touch on it Monday. But today I was doing a Belleville Sens game. I was doing commentary for a Belleville Sens game this afternoon, and I kept thinking about that Survivor Series show, Lee. I just kept thinking about it. Like during the intermissions, I'm like, the things I'm gonna say about this Survivor Series show that I watched last night. I watched it live, all of it, every minute of the main show yesterday.
Well, that is most of the job here on This Is Wrestling, to actually watch the big shows.
Yes.
So you're saying it like this is some sort of feat? I also watched the show, Zach.
Oh, after the show yesterday, it definitely felt like a feat that I was able to watch it all 4 grueling matches that I had to watch through. So yeah, let's get into it, because I just
all right.
Let's just get into it. I have some thoughts.
Well, let's get into it then. You want to start with the 46,016 fans in Petco Park in San Diego, California, attending the 2025 Survivor Series. It is a new record for the Survivor Series. You must have been impressed with that before it started.
Oh, I was shocked they didn't talk about box office records when they were talking about attendance records. I was waiting for Michael Cole to talk about, we actually, we had more people that bought tickets to the show. More people spent money on a WWE show than a Taylor Swift concert. I was waiting for that, but shockingly, they held back. They actually had some pullback, and they looked within themselves. You know what? Maybe it's a bad idea, a bad look to tell people how much money we made off of these shows. I do have to go against the biggest Survivor Series show of all time when there were 4 matches on the card. I mean, that is just mathematically incorrect that it would be the biggest Survivor Series show of all time when you only have 4 matches listed on the card. So 46,000 people. How much money did these people... San Diego, their tourism board or whatever, paid the WWE to show up for this show. They paid them to say, put on the show here at Petco Park. We will pay you money for this show. Please come here. And what did they get for the value for their dollar? They got 4 matches. 2 of them were the WarGames matches. And they got, well, that's it. That's pretty much it. They got 4 professional wrestling matches on this show.
Well, let's get to match number 1. And that is the longest match of the evening. And that would be AJ Lee, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley going up against Becky Lynch, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Okay. Was this the right match to begin the Survivor Series, Zach?
You tell me the other match that could fill in and be the kickoff to this show that could have really set the tone here, Versage. You tell me if there was another match on this card that could really set the tone for the rest of this show.
Well, look, if you want to get into a placement discussion on the 4 matches that were on the card, I could, because the fact that John Cena did not start or end this show
was surprising.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. So if you're, and I get it. I thought the men's War Games would be last. So I'm actually a little bit surprised that it wasn't Dominic Mysterio and John Cena to begin.
Fair enough. Yeah. The women's War Games match was a match that I watched. It featured competitors that ran in and they did spots and moves And that's pretty much what I watched. I pretty much watched, I think, the worst women's WarGames match out of all of them so far. I mean, there was really nothing marquee that came out of this match. The things that I remember from the match were the spot in the corner where Becky Lynch, they have this camera shot, this tight camera shot of Becky Lynch, like her face is right to the cage, and somebody's foot is on top of Becky Lynch's face. I think it was Charlotte. And I don't know what this was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be a camera shot of Becky Lynch having her face like plastered into the chain to like, you know, show the gravitas and how brutal the War Games match could be. The problem was the way that they shot this was that there was clearly some space between her and the cage. And so it looked like she's just yelling outside of the cage to somebody just stepping on her, like it's just a boot on her face. She's like, oh, this hurts so bad. Like, what is this supposed to sell to me? Are you trying to tell me how painful the War Games match is? I mean, it's painful to watch. I can confirm that, but I don't know if it's like painful to
all right,
what's going on.
So Charlotte Flair and Asuka started things off, and it, as you said, it kind of went on, and the women made their way in. Now, I know you called it before. We're gonna get the garbage can spot. We're gonna get Io Sky. We're gonna get this incredible moment. What did you think of AJ Lee trying to get out of the trash can, being too short? Rhea Ripley comes over, puts her on her shoulders, gives her the trash can, and then Io Sky with the moonsault.
The senton, Lee. It was a senton off
front
the top
flip.
of the
Yeah, I knew it. As soon as I said it was a moonsault, it's like it wasn't backwards.
Yeah.
It was the front
Yeah.
senton with the trash can. What did you think of the spot?
I thought that I should have bet a lot of money on that happening, and I could have been so rich. I could have been the richest person in professional wrestling if I just bet money on that, because I should have bet the house on that. I mean, it was so obvious. Like, they couldn't have made it any less obvious that this spot was happening. You know why? Because Rhea Ripley comes out with a trash can with a giant Io Sky on it and put it over. I saw it as like, of course this spot is going to happen. And, you know, I had to listen to Wade Barrett call this a viral moment. Oh, Io Sky, she's going to have her viral moment. I'm like, she's had this moment 8 years in a row. Every time she's taken part of the match. Okay.
You don't like the predictability of a big moment or a big spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to push back on you a little bit here.
Okay.
Number one, did you think that was like, how would you rate of all the ones you've ever seen from Io Sky? Where would you put that one?
I haven't put that much thought into it, if I'm being honest. I just was like, oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. It was I've seen that spot 8 times, Lee. How can it be incredible if I've seen it for the 8th time?
I don't know. When Ric Flair runs across the ring and then up the top rope and then gets body slammed off of the top rope and never hits a move ever, is it okay that he does it the next match?
That's what we're comparing it to? The Ric Flair going over the top spot? That's the comparison we're doing right now? I thought you were going to compare it to the Kofi Kingston stuff where it's like, oh, at least that was creative and there are different ways. The only thing you could do with the garbage can spot at the top is you're either going to dive forward or backwards. That's it. And she's done it 8 times, Lee. 8. What more could I possibly take away from the spot? Tell me. I want to love it.
Okay, if somebody had not seen Io Sky before, and the danger of leaping off of the top of a cage with a trash can on your head, not seeing what you're able to do, would you at least admit that there is a lot in that spot that could go wrong?
Sure.
It was executed very well.
Yes. Well, because she
So-
had 7 different tries to perfect it. I mean, I would hope it would be perfect at the end. I mean, for God's sake. I mean,
all right.
you know, can I talk
right,
about
so-
another spot here in the match? Like,
Yep.
so Kairi is saying she brings out her chain, which is like the goofiest looking chain I think I've ever seen. Like Hercules Hernandez would be like aghast at how
Yeah.
comedic this chain was. And it
Mhm.
was all green. It was all spray painted green. And they did this spot where
That's the color of the mist, Zach. That's the Japanese mist is always green.
No,
so the
no,
chain
I got
obviously
it.
has,
No, I got it.
it
I
has
got
to
it.
match.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the colors have to match.
Well, you see, you also have to appeal to the audience. Like, that's the color green. That's the mist color that Asuka uses. I know what that is. Oh, that's so
Right.
smart. So
That's exactly it.
So they wrapped this chain around 3 of the wrestlers, and Becky Lynch is holding on to the chain. And need I remind you, it's around 3 different wrestlers, okay? They wrap the chain around, and then they have, I think it was Kairi Sane and it may have been Io Sky. I don't remember. Who cares at this point? 2 people come in, they drop kick, right? So they drop kick 2 of the wrestlers, but not the 3rd wrestler, which was Alexa Bliss. But Alexa Bliss still sold it. She still sold the double drop kick, even though she didn't take any of the kick itself. She's lying there
That's right.
like, oh, I just got hit by a drop kick that missed me by 1,000 miles because Becky Lynch, for some reason, decides I'm not going to tie up the chain and going to have everybody like tied up. I have to hold on to the chain. I didn't see her perform a punch. I didn't see her throw any drop kicks or anything like that. And they sold it. Like she sold the move. Like I saw that. I was like, well, that looks kind of dorky. And there was that. Lash Legend came out and nobody recognized who she was. Like she got, and I felt bad for her because like they're debuting her and they're putting her in the last spot because she's not good. And so they have to save her for the end. They can't have her go out there for longer than 10 minutes because it's going to be just a bad exposure for her. So they have to put her in the final spot, but it's War Games and these fans are conditioned to entrances. And so the last person coming out is Lash Legend and nobody cares. And she's trying to like dance and show off her charisma and whatnot, but nobody cares. And then they
So I agree with you there. I thought this was one of the worst decisions made.
Yes.
In this match to bring her out last.
Yes.
It's like, if I don't know why you wanted to include her on the team, but okay, like that's what you wanted to do. But to bring her out last, it was so deflating.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially when you
no
have an
reaction.
entrance ramp that lasts from San Diego to San Francisco. So it's taking every minute I could feel, like every step I could feel that they were walking down on the ramp and trying to get people amped up and fired up. And then there was the spot where it was the double pin, but they only counted one of the pins, but Lash Legends was still pinning her person, but they didn't count it.
Yeah.
That was... Lee, this was like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
All right. So what it was 41 minutes and 10 seconds before AJ Lee makes Becky Lynch submit with the Black Widow. Was this the right ending?
Why is Becky Lynch so afraid of AJ Lee? Why is this her gimmick? Isn't her gimmick the last kicker? Didn't I remember her being this like badass, I'm going to take no prisoners, I'm going to beat everybody up? I know she's a heel.
She's scared of everyone now, right? She's mad. She's gone a little crazy. She's mad at refs. She's mad. Like everyone in the world is against her. You know, it's everyone else's fault why Maxine Dupree beat her for the Intercontinental title. She's got this kind of, I'm afraid of a lot of things and I'm a little crazy. That's the gimmick. It's not the last kicker anymore.
Well, I know, because you know, if you actually like, I know a lot of these people love to talk about their stories because there's a lot of Ernest Hemingways out in that WWE audience, right? They're just, all these authors are out there just breaking down. They probably know about rising action, falling action, and climaxes and beginnings and plot devices, all of it. They probably know it by the back of their hand. So if you know about character development, sorry, go ahead.
Listen to Zach. No, I was just going to say, listen to Zach, folks, hit the table
and
you can hear the
yeah, this is just pure rage right now.
You can hear the angst.
I'm so fed up with hearing about these great storytellers. You know, all these people that go out there and talk about being these great like Ernest Hemingway is just in the crowd, just like breaking this down from a storyline perspective. And just so if you look at it from a character development perspective, how can somebody in Becky Lynch, who got her peak was, I am an ass kicker, I kick everybody's ass, I am better than everybody, to I'm scared of everybody. Even AJ Lee, who's 4'11" or whatever, hasn't been in the business for 15 years, but I'm also afraid of her. She got her face pummeled by Nia Jax 8 years ago, whatever. Now she can't, like, oh no, not AJ Lee. Like, what are we doing here? Like, oh my God. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, she has all this talent in the world, but she has to go to low resorts, right? Like, oh, like, we know what she's capable of, but she's not, like, what we're seeing with Jon Moxley. Like, Moxley, like, he could do all this stuff, but he has to resort to his goons outside, whatever, to help him in matches. But instead, we just go to the other extreme, and she just fears everybody. Why even be a professional wrestler at that point, if you're just going to be scared of everybody? And by the way, I was sitting there, and I remember on our preview show, Lee, where you're like, oh, like, I'm looking for like a Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair development. Yes. I'm looking for, you know, some tension here so that we can get these people to the next level and we could get some contenders for the women's title. Guess what, Lee?
Yes.
They're best friends. They hugged it out. They said, oh, glad we could work together as a team, and we got nothing out of it. Awesome. No. Glad we went through all of that just for them to be like, oh, we're the best of friends. God, you're great. Oh, let's celebrate with the crowd. Let's put our fists up in the air and let's just celebrate. Oh,
all right. Oh, 41 minutes and 10 seconds.
I can't
get
back.
It's time for, and by the way, I will give you a hint of, we got an email from a longtime listener that we've read before on the show that I'm going to keep for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And we'll get to that a little bit later.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
The penultimate time is now. That's what the song said, right? Dun, dun, dun. The penultimate time is now.
Yeah, specifically penultimate.
Yeah. John Cena defending the Intercontinental Championship against former champion Dominic Mysterio. Judgment Day. They're out there. We got Roxanne and Raquel as well. And you could hear the John Cena thank you chants in the crowd before the music hit. Were you moved at all by John Cena coming out, and a little bit of emotion there for sure? You'd almost tell, to me at least, in his face that he knew that this was, it's not the last, but it is the penultimate, the second last. And you could kind of tell on his face. Were you moved at all?
No, but I looked at it as like, okay, this is a moment, you know, which I'm going to hate that word in a few minutes, but it was a moment that happened on the show. It's like, all right, you know, this is good. Like, if I don't have that personal connection like others do, right? But I can understand how you look at this as like, oh, this is my guy. This is who I was raised up upon. This is his final, second last match, whatever, final on pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. You know, I understand that from that point of view. It didn't move me, but if you were somebody that was raised on John Cena, I could see it. I mean, you could tell he was legitimately like, all right, this is it. Like, we're winding down here. It's getting close to the end, and this is the last one here in front of a giant crowd like this. Like this, I can get that. I can get behind that.
All right. So let's get into the match, and certainly I don't say the first big thing, but the sort of big thing that happened earlier in the match is where Dom Mysterio gets, you know, put on his, well, I don't know, head, shoulder, rolling around in pain, and you got the medics. All of a sudden, Raquel gets in the ring and Roxanne Perez. Guess what, Zach?
All a ruse.
He wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
He wasn't hurt.
All a ruse.
Chad Patton. You listen, Chad Patton not happy either. Chad Patton, Zach McGibbon.
Don't get me started on this spot. Unbelievable.
Chad Patton not happy. He's not counting the pin.
What?
Nope.
What was this?
Not gonna go down this way. Says referee, I'm in charge. Love Chad.
What was that spot? They actually got me.
What do you mean?
They actually got me, Lee. I legitimately thought because Dominic Mysterio was a bad wrestler that he actually, he tried to do the Hurricane Rana, and then Cena hit him down.
Stop.
And they got me. Like, I'm like, wow, like they were a little too bold on that. But then once I saw Dominic adjust from selling his neck to selling his shoulder, because he's the #1 professional wrestler under 30 according to ESPN, that where he went from selling his neck to selling his shoulder, I was like, this is kind of weird. And then Chad Patton is looking at him, and then Cena's like, oh, come on, you get. As soon as they were stalling, it's like, okay, they're setting up for something here. And then lo and behold, Lee, Roxanne Perez, I didn't think I'd ever see this visual of hitting the pop rocks on John Cena.
Pop rocks, baby.
Yeah.
Pop rocks.
And Cena sold it, of course. And then Raquel hitting the Tiana bomb, or whatever it's called, choke slam at the center of the ring. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good little high spot, or a good little spot here to get a good near fall. Great. Yeah. You know what? Good sell on that. But for some reason, Lee, for some inexplicable reason, they killed all of that goodwill by having Chad Patton put up his WWE patches, like, hey, you lied to me about the shoulder. You couldn't tell me the truth. I'm the referee. How dare you? Do your job.
This is John Cena.
Count the pin. Do your job.
He's not letting John Cena go out that way.
He's not letting
John Cena go out that way in the penultimate match. He's Chad Patton standing up for John Cena.
Oh, so they just killed this near fall. Why? That was perfectly set up. And then they just had Chad Patton being like, all of a sudden now the referees are putting their, I'm the WWE referee. I'm the guy, you listen to me. How dare you? Respect my authority. At this particular moment, really? At this particular moment? And it was already smoke and mirrors beforehand, because it was Dom would do a move and then he would sell to the crowd. Then he would do some more moves and he would sell to the crowd. Then they're brawling on the outside, and he's like, and then he said something in Spanish or whatever. I think he said a swear word in Spanish. Then that spot happens. And then they killed that high spot. They killed that near fall. I just why? Anyways, they did this.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So then a whole bunch of shenanigans. We see Finn Balor. We see JD McDonough. All kinds of things there. And then my favorite part was hitting Mysterio with the AA and no referee.
Yeah.
The AA couldn't beat me, let alone he's out. Oh man, there's no ref. I would have beat him with the AA.
Yeah. That he's beaten so many before.
So then is the real part of the match where there's some music, and all of a sudden Liv Morgan makes her way down. I'm really interested. I'm guessing from your tone, but I'm interested to see what you thought of her getting in the ring. Did you at all buy the fact that she slapped Dominic Mysterio? She jumps into Cena's arms, and then the callback is the best way to put it. The callback from March 1st in Toronto, with John Cena's eyes going from happy to crazy. Liv Morgan did the same thing into the camera, and then got off of hugging John Cena, kicked him in the gonads, which is exactly what Cena did Cody Rhodes. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a new Intercontinental Champion for the second time, Dominic Mysterio. All right, what did you think of the final sequence here?
I hated it. Oh, I hated it.
Okay, so what did you not specifically like about it? Like,
All of it. All of
you
it.
don't think Liv Morgan coming back to help Dominic in his time of need was a good thing?
I don't care. I don't care about Liv Morgan coming back to save Dominic. I don't. Who? Why? Who? How? Why? Who? So,
They are the power couple. They are they're of all of the 18 power couples that are going to be in our nice event coming up that I've created myself with all the couples.
Mm-hmm.
Liv
right.
Morgan,
yes, the mixed match challenge. Yes.
Yes, the mixed match challenge.
Yeah, we're
the one couple that is not actually a couple.
correct.
Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio.
We do respect kayfabe around here, though, so we will. We will insert them into this tournament. That angle. I mean, what happened to the sport I love, Lee? What happened?
No,
what happened here?
We still have 2 matches to go after this.
God, there's 2 more matches. What happened to the sport I love? So, Liv Morgan, she runs out. Time stands still. They all, look at each other. And then she looks at Dom, and they're doing the facial reaction stuff, because that's how you sell in WWE now. That's how you convey a story. And so she goes in, jumps on Dom, and then slaps him. I think. Did he slap her? Did she slap him or whatever? Or was that supposed to be?
They didn't jump on him.
Right.
It was, hey, I'm pissed off with you.
Yes. So she slapped him.
So I'm going to slap him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she slapped him. Then she turned around and, as you mentioned, sees John Cena. That's when you're right. That's when she jumped onto Cena.
Yep.
And then did the hug thing. And then we have to get this up close camera shot of Liv Morgan. And we have to do a callback to one of the worst heel runs in modern professional wrestling history, potentially, in John Cena. But it's a callback, so the fans love it. Because as long as you call back to something, it's okay.
So, first of all, I see what they tried to do to tie it together with John Cena's heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't really go so well. And John Cena's losing of the Intercontinental title in his second last match because of something that he did is happening now to him. I actually don't mind the thought of
the execution
of all of that. Well, no, look, I didn't think the execution was all that bad in this match.
This was such a Vince Russo-esque angle. I could see this in 2009 TNA or 1999 WCW. I could just see this happening. But it's accepted. And I am the crazy one for thinking it's garbage. I don't understand.
Well, what I would tell you is, it is where I agree with you is that it's a callback to what will go down as the worst heel turn in the history of professional wrestling. As far as where they started from, what they did, the shock value that they did on March the 1st, and everything that happened afterwards will go down as the worst decision heel turn of all time in the history of professional wrestling. There's just no chance that somebody as big as John Cena, who had never been a heel in his career after he started to get popular. I know he's a heel at the very beginning, but he wasn't John Cena yet. And it will go down. It'll be number 1 on the list. So to call back to something that will go down in history as the worst heel turn of all time, that I do question. But I understand tying it together with that's what happened with John Cena on March 1st. So this is what's going to happen against him in the second last match for him to lose. And I didn't think the execution was all that bad. I think some people were sold on the slap that Liv was pissed off with Dominic. Now she jumps up to hug John Cena. That's where it gets a little corny. And then all of a sudden the eyes turn. But look, for Liv Morgan, that's not an easy spot to jump into the arms of John Cena, be really happy, and then have her look on her face be very similar to that of John Cena's on March the 1st, because she has to pull that off. I didn't think it was that bad. The idea to me is lukewarm. I understand tying it together, but tying it together to the worst thing that's happened all time in the history of professional wrestling is not a great thing. So I'm very lukewarm. I didn't think the execution was all that bad. Dominic then jumped up real quick, hit the frog splash, got out, and beat John Cena. I'm going to tell you again, in a vacuum here, in a short time, I don't love the idea of the callback, but I didn't think it was executed that poorly. And I'm here to listen to better ideas. I don't think this was the greatest idea to have John Cena lose this way, but at least I understand it. And fans would understand it. So if you have another idea.
Well, here's what I want to bring forward. Not necessarily an idea, more of a plea to John Cena. The next time, I mean, you've already screwed up the retirement run here, John. So this advice is well too late. But you know, John has been going out there and saying, "Oh, I'm not making any sort of creative decision on anything. I'm just doing what the upper ups, the higher ups tell me. I'm going along. I'm going to be a good little soldier, whatnot." John, say no. Say no. Just say no to stuff. It's okay. I won't blame you if you said no to this. If you said, "Hey, you know what? The idea of my final pay-per-view match is against Dominic Mysterio, and this is how I'm going to go out." John, it's okay to say no. Just you're a big star.
He never has.
You're a big star.
He never has.
Well, that's the thing.
John Cena's whole thing, his whole career is about, hey, Vince, what are you looking for? What do you want? I'm going to go out and try and do it the best I can.
Kudos to him, but say no. Just say no, John. Like, just say no. I wouldn't have even let them finish the sentence. So Dominic Mysterio will face you in your final no. Just no. No. I'm John Cena. I'm one of the biggest wrestling stars of all time. No. Give me somebody else. How about, I don't know, we pay off the Brock Lesnar stuff from pay-per-views ago that just happened, and we're like, I guess we're just going to accept it now. You know? Like, how about that? How about, no, I'm not doing Dom Mysterio as my final match, or no, my final match is not going to be in a tournament at Saturday night's main event or whatever. How about, no, I don't think a heel turn is a good idea because I've not been a heel for over 20 years and I don't know how to wrestle as a heel. Just no. Just say no, John. But it's too late now. He's got one match left. I'm watching this and I'm like, John, you can't possibly think this is good. You can't possibly think this is how you wanted your career to end. I don't care about your good little soldier routine, or I'm just doing what the company says. In his heart of hearts, I highly doubt that man went there. It's like, this is how I envision my career being done at a PLE. Losing after 17,000 run-ins from the Judgment Day, and then being involved in a Vince Russo-esque angle at the end, where I look like the biggest dork and geek at the end, and just get rolled up by Dominic Mysterio to lose my Intercontinental Championship. That's what I would do if I was a big star. I could care less what some dirt.
You got frog splash. You can get rolled up.
Fair enough. I'm just mad. I'm just like, we're 2 matches in, and I was watching this, and I'm like, God, this is rough. I mean, I was watching this like, I know people are gonna like this, but this is so not my kind of pro wrestling. Like, just so.
I can't wait to ask you what you thought. I can't wait, because I'm going to ask you, and you're going to have to do it. You don't get to say no.
Yep.
You're going to have to rank the matches in order from best to worst.
Oh,
so
jeez.
Just be prepared that you're going to have to do that.
Okay.
As we get to match number 3, Stephanie Vaquer against Nikki Bella. for the WWE Women's World Championship. So this is one of the spots where I'm going to have a little bit to say. I don't have much to say about the match. I think I have more to say on all the people online that were telling me that this was, if you look past some of the
Everything.
I guess what people like were going to say. You had people online and like reporters saying that this was actually not a bad match and a pretty good match. I thought this was awful. And I feel bad for Stephanie. I give her the benefit of the doubt because I think with other people she can go. I just don't understand putting Nikki Bella in a one-on-one on a 4-match pay-per-view. I don't have any idea why somebody would think that's a good idea. Like, I don't care. Like, they call her a Hall of Famer. They introduced her as a Hall of Famer. Like, I can tell you I don't care whether Nikki Bella or Brie Bella are in and what they did to change the landscape of the divas from 20 years ago and get total divas and total Bellas. Like, I understand that part. And I think she's pretty savvy when it comes to some of her creativity outside of the ring. But inside of the ring, I wouldn't put Nikki Bella in the 50 best wrestlers I've ever seen, let alone maybe I would go probably further.
Yeah, I would go 1,000. I would go 1,000 professional wrestlers that are probably better.
1,000 women?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll get you to get the list at 782, and then we'll probably have a debate at that point. But Nikki Bella is not in the top 10, 20, 50.
No.
And to have her out there presented like a Hall of Famer, somebody who deserves to be in that spot when she didn't win bleep all. She won absolutely nothing. She comes back. Like, at least AJ Lee has beat people along the way here.
Yep.
And she doesn't have a title, but she's beat people. Nikki Bella didn't beat anybody. And is standing there, and it was just a bad match. It was okay. That's all. I don't want to go on and on and on about it myself, but it like, I couldn't actually believe it, Zach, when I saw the runtime was only 12 minutes. It felt forever.
I know. I was just going to ask, didn't you say on the preview show, like, they're not going to give these women more than 12 minutes, I think is what you said.
Yeah, it was
12:22. So they were 22 seconds more. So they just wanted to say, yeah, we did more than 12 minutes. Take that, Versage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Try to shut us down and
but it felt forever. And I feel bad for Stephanie Vercare.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. No, I agree. This was not exactly Manami Toyota versus Akira Hokuto out there in terms of a one-on-one match.
I think your references like that should be your new
They hurt people.
Syndicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep on throwing out obscure, like, not obscure to you and I, but like obscure to maybe a lot of the general wrestling audience.
Any match that those people were in that you're mentioning, were like a million times better than anything that we're seeing. But we get to the final match after probably another, and this is one of the things in the show that I think bothered people. Only 4 matches. If you look at the run times, you only had about hour 20, about an hour 45 of wrestling on this show, and
on a 3-hour show.
Yes, and that's with 2 matches that have 10 people in it with individual entrances and like taking forever to get to the ring, and they're including that, like, once the bell rings in the WarGames matches, everything's included.
Yep.
So one of the things that bothered me and will bother a lot of people are the amount of commercials and the length of these commercials during especially a 4-match card.
Yeah.
4 minutes at a time, Zach. Like, Oh my god.
On top of the other ads that we actually did watch on the show. We had to see
That's
those
what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm confident if we like added up the runtime together, that if you take the downtime, like you take the separate segments of downtime and you add it up all together, you could actually watch the 1983 film War Games during that time. Like you could actually watch something better during that time. That's also called War Games, and you could be like, oh, that's a pretty solid movie during that time.
Yeah.
I'm confident in that. God, yeah. I mean, we keep talking about the downtime on this show, and it just doesn't seem to get any better. So I'm not gonna run it down too much because I've been saying it for years, and I think people are tired of hearing me talk about the downtime at this point. But it has to be mentioned every time, at least as a like I can't
on a card
let them slide.
On a card with only 4 matches.
Correct.
And the length of these matches and how long these matches took.
Yeah.
Adding on to that, it has to be mentioned.
Absolutely.
Like it just made a 3-hour show feel so much longer.
Well, especially considering the quality of the matches too. I'd like to apologize to our audience for saying I wanted 5 or 6 matches, because that first of all, that would have extended this torture fest that I had to watch through last night. So I'm actually apologizing for asking for more matches.
You
in my
don't know
professional
if they
show.
put 2 more matches in. Maybe those matches would have been incredible matches and saved the night. Who knows?
Well, who knows? But like, I mean, look, Paul Levesque. I mean, he just looks at all his sheets. He's got his rosters, and he's like, God, I don't know if we can get a 5th match in here. This is tough.
So
This is tough.
let's get to the 4th and final match, where Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar go up against Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns. Okay, Zach, where do you want to start?
I knew I was out on this show entirely, when Jey Uso looks in the camera. He starts like, starting to hulk up, and he's saying, and then they, in War Games, Lee, Tully Blanchard bled for this match. Dusty Rhodes bled for this match. Ric Flair bled for this match. Sting bled for this match.
Yeah, the Road Warriors.
Again, this was not exactly the Dangerous Alliance versus the Sting Squadron either when it came to a War Games match. So Jey Uso's looking and he's like, oh, you know what it is. And I'm like, oh God, please don't. Please, for the love of God, don't. Please don't do this. Control yourselves. We already had his entrance. We don't need it again. And what do they do, Lee? He ran it back. He climbs up to the top of the cage and he just starts yeeting, and the crowd's yeeting. And CM Punk, that absolute fraud of a human being, is playing the guitar on the chair. It's just, I looked and I was like, oh, Tully Blanchard bled for this match. I think Magnum TA was at a War Games. If not, he surely would have bled for this match. Dusty,
I think so. I think was he in?
He must have been in the first one before in the car accident. I think I could be wrong, but I'm like, the son of Dusty Rhodes is in this match. How does he feel that his father's creation is now being used? I mean, it's not the full War Games. You don't have the roof over top, and pinfalls are also allowed in this. It's not submission or surrender or whatever. So
the first War Games, because they did a bunch in on the Great American Bash Tour.
Yeah.
In 87.
Yep.
But the very
87.
first one.
Yeah, okay.
So the very first one was Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, Nikita Koloff, Dusty Rhodes, and Paul Ellering against Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, Tully Blanchard, and J.J. Dillon.
Yes. When I realized, when you said 87, it's like, oh, TA got that car wreck in 85, so he couldn't have been in War Games. So
they did a couple more, like a couple on Crazy on house shows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a big touring thing. That's why they brought it in for Jim Crockett, because it drew well.
Yeah. And they put some different people in it. but the first one in 88 also had the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes, Lex Luger, and Paul Ellering against the Horsemen and Flair, Anderson, Blanchard, Wyndham, and JJ Dillon. So that, I mean, most of 88, and they did a ton in 88.
Yep.
And house shows and the Great American Bash Tour. When it started to change a little bit was the first one in 89, where it was the Road Warriors with the Midnight Express and Steve Williams against the Fabulous Freebirds and the Samoan SWAT team. They also got into, that one in 91 that you talk about, 92. Yep. They had the Horsemen of Flair, Wyndham, Sid Vicious, and Larry Zbyszko against Sting, Pillman, and the Steiner brothers at Wrestle War 91. And then the one that like a lot of people talk about is that 92 one.
Yep.
With Sting, Nikita Koloff, Dustin Rhodes, Ricky Steamboat, and Barry Windham against the Dangerous Alliance, which had Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Steve Austin, Larry Zbyszko, and Rick Rude in it, which was an incredible one in Jacksonville.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of the early history of War Games.
That's right.
This one was not it.
No, it was not. I don't remember Rick Rude yeeting in the middle of the match, like looking to the camera and saying, "All right, yeet break," and then like get up on the top of the cage and just start yeeting with the crowd. And I'm just looking at him I'm like, how would Dusty Rhodes feel just seeing this right now, that his creation is being used like this? And I saw that and I was out. I'm like, I am out on this show. I don't care what happens after this match. I am out. I don't care what happens from here on out. Little did I know it was actually going to get worse, but like I was out. And CM Punk, oh my God, this guy. Because he always has to get his little brownie points in now. Because he's got to tell people, no, I know that this is not my thing. Look, I bled during this match. Sure, it was a speck that was cleaned off in a matter of minutes, but I bled in this match. But see, because I could push against the WWE system, and I can bring some, intensity to War Games. Meanwhile, later he's doing the air guitar on the chair during the yeeting stuff. Absolute fraudulent human being, but it's okay, Lee, because the CM Punk humiliation tour continues to roll along in this. It was. I'll talk about the finish of the moment. First of all, the match itself, nothing very special. I don't know. I saw some people saying it was better than the women's one. Sure, I'll take your word for it. I felt they were both equally boring. There was the spot where Braun Breaker took that neck bump off the shoulders, and like they did the doomsday device. And I was looking and people were like, wow, like, is he going to be okay? And I'm like, he's a Steiner. Like he's going to be fine. Like I'm not saying he should take those bumps all the time, but it's Braun Breaker. Like, I don't want to sound like dismissive or anything like that, but like, and we obviously have to be cautious of neck bumps and all that. And he's fine. Like, anyways, so they got him looked at. He was cleared and he wrestled for the rest of the match. And I'm sure that, all the people that were pleading, like worry about blood and guts with all the blood and whatnot, were doing the exact same thing when Braun Breaker landed on his neck. And we're like, oh, is this safe? Is this a safe company or blah, blah, blah? Sure, that's the same reaction. Yeah, the match itself.
All right, so let's get to the finish.
Yeah.
Let's get to the finish.
So also Brock Lesnar got out of the cage just to confront with Roman Reigns and just F5'd him through a table and all that. So, the finish. So after all of this, after 40 minutes of just like watching stuff happen, I guess, and moves taking place and people not liking each other. There you had this guy in a mask. He's in all black. I thought maybe the Black Scorpion had showed up, Lee, and was trying to run in and interfere. He climbs up the side of the cage and he gets in the middle. It's between Braun and CM Punk. And CM Punk, again, the CM Punk humiliation tour continues to roll along here in the WWE because Punk is looking at him. He's like, what are you doing? Who is this guy? And then he gets hit by some of Seth Rollins' signature moves, including the curb stomp. And then Braun Breaker comes in, takes the pinfall victory after all of that. After 40 minutes of just stuff happening. Not good stuff, just things happening. That's
okay, so let's, as I texted you last night, you're sitting in the meeting backstage and you're like, okay, let's, we got Roman, Cody, Punk, the Usos, we got Brock Lesnar, we got the Vision, we got Logan Paul, we got Drew McIntyre, who again I thought would be featured somehow. And
why do you not learn, Lee? Why do you not learn?
Versage humiliation tour of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
in a big spot.
You were so convinced too on the last show. You were like, "Oh, there's no title involved," and like if there was ever an opportunity for him to get the showcase, I'm like, Lee, how many years have we done this? He's been humiliated in his own home country. Like he's gonna get humiliated in San Diego. You kidding me? Drew McIntyre.
Again, I worked myself into a shoot because I believed it. I believed that something good was going to happen to Drew McIntyre. Just like I believed something should happen with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. I believed that Drew McIntyre was going to be more of a feature in this match. I did believe it. Yeah. Guess what, Zach? It did not happen.
Yeah, that's a Zach McGibbon prediction if I've ever heard one. My goodness.
So you're sitting in the meeting and you have legit, like of all the men on the roster, arguably like 10 of the, I mean, I wouldn't put Jimmy in there at all, but 10 of the big, like 15 biggest superstars that you have. Right? I mean, all of the top guys are there.
As Michael Cole said, it was an all-star, it was essentially their all-star game.
Well, it was because especially on the baby faces, you had Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Like, your top three guys right there. And then whoever you want on the heel side. I mean, Seth Rollins is out. So to me, like it's Brock. And then kind of everyone, they're pushing the vision really hard. But anyway, the whole point is that you got 10 of your best 15 guys in the main event of a pay-per-view. And as you're sitting around discussing what should happen for the finish, when somebody puts their hand up and goes, guys, I got an idea. We're gonna bring somebody in a black mask and a black suit. We're gonna put in an 11th man. Nobody's gonna know who it is. We'll kind of reference that it's possible that it might be Seth Rollins. And we're really going to throw everyone for a curve here.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, don't you have the best guys in the world in your company all there at the same time? Like they can't figure out a finish here. No, we need to just bring in a mystery person. And again, Doc, it's one of the bigger pet peeves I have now in the entire wrestling business is every cage match we ever see in the history of cage matches does nothing to prevent somebody from getting in or out.
I hate it so much.
Nothing.
Why even bother having a cage match at that point?
Every cage match, no, in every company though.
Yeah, every company. No. I agree with you.
So this is like AEW. Look, they had Blood and Guts, and Blood and Guts to me was way better than all this.
It was like 1,000 times better than this.
It was, but you also had Hook come in a cage match on a pay-per-view to end the pay-per-view, which is like, to me, I guess it's a bit better than a masked guy coming in at WarGames, but it's not that much better.
Really not.
And in the women's Blood and Guts, you had them just slide out of the middle of the cage to get the key off the referee. Like no cage ever keeps anybody out.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the premise of it, but that's a whole other show.
Yeah.
To have somebody come in to me as the 11th person when you can't figure out, like this literally to me though is Zach, a bunch of egos in a room going, well, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not losing to that. No,
yep.
No, I'm not doing that. Well, what if we just bring in an 11th guy? Nobody will know who he is.
Yeah.
Everyone will be happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Phil, you're taking the loss. What? I'm the world heavyweight champion. What do you mean I'm taking the loss? Well, because Roman doesn't want to lose and Cody doesn't want to lose, and we got to protect Jimmy and Jay. So you're the odd man out here, Phil.
Why would they have to protect Jimmy?
Well, look, brother, I mean, they just returned as a tag team, and we got to make sure our tag team division is looking strong. And so, Phil, unfortunately, you're the odd man out here, and you're going to take the pinfall loss.
Well, Cody and Roman weren't.
Yeah,
but,
no.
And Jay wasn't going to either because they protect him crazy.
Yeah.
But to me, I am surprised it was Punk again as the world heavyweight champion.
It's awesome that it's always like, they always talk about the prestigious World Heavyweight Championship, you know, and the undisputed / disputed World Championship, because there's another world title. So it's actually very much in dispute that guy is like the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion. Very much in dispute, actually. But
so let's start now with the working theory that they are trying to get over the fact that this possibly could be Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
So Wade Barrett very quickly says, well, how can that be Seth Rollins? He's had shoulder surgery. And the way that he climbed up the cage would not be that of somebody that had shoulder surgery. So I didn't love the fact that they did it this way, because you're either going to try and put over another injury ruse over with Seth Rollins, or it can't be Seth Rollins because he's actually injured, which now you've told us that he is. And there's no way someone could climb the cage the way that this person did. So do you like... Oh, okay. I shouldn't.
I was just going to say, do you want to ask me a do you like question when it comes to this show?
No, I don't. What do you think of the specific angle of the masked person coming in to be the difference maker in the main event?
What a way to end the show. I mean, what a cherry on top of this crap Sunday that I had to watch 3 hours. I can't get back for this damn finish. Yeah, Saturday. Did I say Sunday? Whatever.
Yeah.
I had to watch this crap finish after wasting 3 hours of my life. And this was the way that they ended the show and let the people go home, by watching a guy in a mask and in the black clothing come in through the top of the cage, because neither Cody nor Roman wants to take the pinfall loss. And I guess they're going to angle it like, oh, it's part of the CM Punk Seth Rollins story. So Jimmy and Jay, it's hilariously like, they're like, no, we can't have Jimmy take the pinfall loss. We have to have it, be impactful. So Phil, you're taking the loss tonight. All right. And then they do this angle, and then Braun wins. I have an idea, Lee, and this might be crazy. This might be, in fact, shocking. Okay. So hold on. Yeah.
Just gonna get to the edge of my seat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing you do it. Good job. Good job. What if, instead of having a masked guy in your main event interfere and just have put a pin into the balloon of any sort of air that was left in that balloon? It was like it was like 3/4 deflated, but then it was like fully like popped at the end. And maybe instead of a masked guy, you got this guy in Braun Breaker that you really want to get over. And it's this all-star matchup, right? You have all these guys that are in there. Hold on to your seat for this one. What if Braun Breaker pinned CM Punk all on his own, and he won like all by himself with no help from anybody else, and you wanted to like put over a guy? I know, Lee, I know you're shocked. I see it in your face.
I'm shaking my head. I'm like, that, Zach, because what that would do is that would put Braun Breaker over.
Yeah.
That would give him the confidence on television in his character to be like, the rest of this Brock Lesnar team with Paul Heyman and Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, I was the guy. Yep. I pinned the world heavyweight champion.
Yep.
I was the guy.
Yep.
And you could carry that forward with him. with CM Punk still having the World Heavyweight Championship and now having, I think, a legitimate threat to his title.
Yep. But that's too crazy. I mean, that's just like
it is a little bit out there.
Yeah,
So,
it's so
okay,
out there. Like, I mean, pro wrestling has never operated on that before. So I know I'm throwing it out there.
Let's get back to. Look, there's been a lot of reports online about this masked individual. I want to try to ignore those for the time being.
Okay.
And say, do you think they did a good enough job that people do think it is Seth Rollins?
No.
Okay.
I've seen the discourse without saying who the person is in terms of the reports. I've got a theory on that idea, but we'll hold on to that. I've seen more people talking about it being Chris Jericho being the mystery person or Edge. That's who I've personally seen, which is just like the two funniest options in my mind. So can't wait for when it's not any of those guys and it's somebody else.
So that wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, why would Edge? Well, by the way, Tony Khan last week said that Edge is still under contract. Adam Copeland's still under contract and still with AEW.
Yeah. Didn't stop the Ernest Hemingways in the WWE universe from chanting, "We want Edge" behind Triple H at the post-game show. All these storytellers out there.
He is under contract. He's out making a movie. He is part of AEW. And Tony Khan on that interview with Chris Van Vliet was not too specific sometimes when he was asked direct questions. Certainly jumped around on the Chris Jericho one.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Ariel Helwani, right? I think you said
Chris Van Vliet. Ariel Helwani. Yeah. Pardon me. So could it be Chris Jericho? I suppose it's possible. I don't think it's possible until the end of the year. But could it be Chris Jericho? Yeah, I guess it could be. It can't be Adam Copeland. It's not possible.
Yep.
So you have those two. Now, there is the one name, of course, making itself, and it almost seems, I don't know. I'll ask you. A lot of people think that this is Austin Theory.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's something the WWE wants us to believe and they're putting it out because then they'll swerve people when it isn't Austin Theory. But the idea that it is Austin Theory, who has come out in a black mask before on NXT and helped out, I believe, Johnny Gargano.
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yes,
it was Johnny Gargano. That there have been a lot of reports that Austin Theory is going to make his way back to television after being off for a while and was going to be pushed quite heavily. I can only say that if this is Austin Theory and they're going to make him a part of, I would guess, the vision under Seth Rollins, and that's why he was doing the Seth Rollins maneuvers, because they're still all kind of working for Seth Rollins. I don't know why, like, the vision having turned already on Seth Rollins, it doesn't quite make sense for me, but maybe he's just trying to fool people. I can tell you right now, if this is Austin Theory, that if Austin Theory was the reason why the top 10 guys in the entire WWE couldn't find a way to finish on their own, and they said, we need Austin Theory to be able to do it. Like, I couldn't think of a worse way to throw Austin Theory back in the main event scene, because nobody will believe it. Yep. Not even WWE fan is going to be excited about that. Not even the most staunch, don't talk bad about my product fan would not defend that. So we don't know who it is yet, but it certainly does trend the way that it looks right now that it's going to be Austin Theory.
Yep. Well, there were the rumors too that Austin Theory was going to be included in this match, and then they decided to hold off on it. So get fired up.
All right. Well, I am fired up for a couple things.
Sure.
Number one, it is time, Zach, for you to do two things. Number one, to rank these matches in order from best to worst. or you can go from worst to best if you want. I mean, the
Sure.
world is your oyster here on This Is Wrestling.
Yeah.
So you can, I mean, it's only a list of 4. Shouldn't take all that long.
Yeah, so much to choose from. I know.
It's not like, the other problem with AEW is like, including the pre-show, I think there was like 11 matches,
Yeah.
12 matches. This one's only 4. Okay, rank them.
All right. Jeez. So I'm gonna say.
Yep. You're gonna say.
I'm gonna say. I don't
Let's
want to
go,
say.
Zach, come on.
I don't want to say best match.
No. Number 1.
I guess number 1.
Numero uno.
I guess number 1. I'm hovering between. No,
Zach,
I
pick
can't.
one.
I
Let's
can't
go.
make it number 1. I'm gonna say Men's War Games. I'm gonna say Men's War Games was number 1, but it was like 2 stars. Like I just it's like the best on the show, but it's like the worst, by far the worst on other shows. That's number 1. I'm hovering between the Nikki Bella match or the John Cena match at number 2. Like those, but like I don't know. Like I'll say number 2, the John Cena match, but only because it's like I don't want to give it number 2. Like it's everything I hate in professional wrestling. It's everything I hate. It's all run-ins and no moves and
silver medal.
yeah. No. Like just I hate that I had to say that was number 2. Probably the Nikki Bella match, number 3. I didn't even give a review of that. I just said it was exactly Akira Hokuto and Manami Toyota. That really set the point. I mean, they tried in that match. I mean, Stephanie Vaquer did the Devil's Kiss twice and got no crowd reaction. Like nobody could possibly care about that match. So I will say
Booker T wasn't on commentary, so
that's true. Although you did have the Ernest Hemingways in the crowd that were just yelling all 6 of them who were invested in the match. And then the last one was Women's War Games.
Yeah. So I would go. I know. I would change that around just actually a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go with the Women's War Games last as well. It was just terrible. It was so long. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like it was just it was a lot of what I don't like about professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And then Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella, which I might have put last as well. Oh. I would put the Men's War Games second, and I would say that Dominic Mysterio and John Cena would be number 1.
Yeah. If I wasn't forced to put it into a ranking, I would say Men's War Games last, Women's War Games last, John Cena and Dom last, and also the Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer match also last. It's actually a tie for last. I would if I had the option, but I clearly did not have that option. So.
No, well, a tie for last then would be a tie for first, and you don't want to rank all of them first.
Yeah, I mean it's glass half empty, glass half full. Paradox, right? So I mean clearly, I think you know where I stand on that glass theory on this match.
Yeah. Okay, so in all seriousness here, we get some good emails each and every week.
Yep.
And sometimes I pick one out, but to me, I thought that this one was. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Okay.
And I think that this is a very fair email.
Okay.
That's what I think. But we'll see what you think.
You are also throwing this at a very agitated me right now after reviewing the show.
I know. So some of this is going to go a couple of ways here.
Okay.
I think you're going to be literally glass half full, 50%.
Okay.
Or maybe 60 or 70%.
Okay.
This is my guess.
Okay.
And then the other 20, 30%. We'll see.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm prepared.
Okay.
I'm going to be professional. I'm going to try not to cut a shoot promo here. So let's go.
No. Okay. So Thomas from Halifax.
Oh, I haven't heard from Tom in a while. Good to hear from him.
Yeah, I know. And so that's why when he takes the time to write, always appreciate it. Always,
absolutely.
read it, get back to him. But
Yep.
this one to me kind of sums up the night a little bit, and how I would characterize this email and Thomas's fandom is kind of where the WWE fan that has a decent head on their shoulders, where they are right now.
Okay.
So here it goes.
All right.
versagely@gmail.com if you do want to email and get it read like our good friend Thomas from Halifax. By the way, I feel bad. Should have emailed Thomas when I was in Halifax. I was in Halifax a couple months ago, and my first time ever there, and I would love to go back. So maybe Thomas will show me around.
There you go.
When I go back, because I would love to go back.
Yeah.
I thought this was an incredible city and surrounding area as well. Long time since my last email, boys, and this one will not be as well written, but I thought you'd enjoy an update on where I am as a fan.
Cool.
I'll start out by saying I really enjoyed Blood and Guts, but I had to turn your review off when you were discussing Jon Moxley.
Oh, I knew it. As soon as you said turn the review off, I'm like, about Moxley, isn't it? It's about Jon Moxley.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't disagree with you guys more. That dude is the worst. Whenever I try to get back into AEW, I see that guy and I'm immediately sad. I'm really looking forward to his eventual beatdown coming from the rest of the Death Riders. So maybe you were partially correct in the storytelling aspect, because that's how it makes me feel. So he says, now, Survivor Series was not very good, like at all.
Yep.
In my last email, I talked about being able to sit down and enjoy matches with my son, which we tried to do last night.
Yep.
We had a few people over and we're pretty excited to watch a match that featured the stars that I mentioned in my previous email, which is all the big stars. It's the Romans, it's the Codys, it's the Punks.
Yep.
It's the Brock Lesnars. It was so stupid that even my son and my partner's son did not enjoy it. These are 12 and 10-year-old boys that don't watch AEW. They don't watch New Japan. They don't watch anything else. And even they thought it was bad. And while I've continued to watch WWE, I must admit it's getting harder. This might sound stupid, but when the product is good, it makes it easier to ignore all of the shady bleep that's going on the corporate side of things, like Saudi Arabia and TKO and some of their affiliations. Thanks for making content. I'll keep listening as long as you, and I thought it says Zach in brackets, maybe it doesn't, as long as you can admit Jon Moxley's terrible. Maybe I'll focus more on the local Nova Scotia scene. My kids like that too.
There you go.
And Thomas ends with something we can all get behind.
Yep.
Oh, and how about them Cowboys?
There we go. Yes, Thomas, you're back.
Good, Thomas.
That's
you're back.
Right,
Thomas.
Yes, you're
Let's
back,
go.
Thomas.
How about them Cowboys?
That's right. All right. That's right. Yes. All right.
Fired up.
You reeled me back in, Thomas. I was back in.
Okay, so in like some seriousness here.
Yep.
I feel like this is like the ups and downs. Like this has some good.
Yep.
Some things you probably agree with. Some things you don't probably agree with. What do you think of Thomas's email from Halifax?
I like it. I like the email. I'm not going to say Jon Moxley is terrible, because he's not. I mean, he has been the driving force of so much that's been happening in AEW right now. And literally, like, a lot of the stories, like, I'm telling you, you got to watch these promos that he's put together and some of the matches. You got to, and I know for some it's tough to get by, and I understand, but you got to look past some of the, he cuts himself deal and see what he's actually trying to say and try and tell in those matches. You can't tell me with the Kyle O'Reilly match, like, he wasn't trying to tell a story there. So we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one there, Thomas.
Well, so just in saying that, like, I don't agree with Thomas either, but I do understand where he's coming from when every time you do see Jon Moxley, he's stabbing a fork into a guy or having a fork stabbed into his head, or he's doing something that is a little bit beyond normal violence.
For sure.
And that is not for everybody.
Yep.
You and I have been at shows with other people where the other people are kind of turning away and don't want to watch that stuff. Even for me, the one that got me was the ear for Darby Allin and John Moxley, where I'm like, I can't look at this.
Yep.
So I at least know where he's coming from. But, you know, with the John Moxley stuff too, I agree with you that you look around and you see that Claudio just won the CMLL championship after a 3-year reign. You look at Pac, who's back in the Death Riders and won his first Continental Classic match. He also beat Darby Allin at the pay-per-view. You look at the fact that Kyle O'Reilly is as over as he's ever been, that Darby Allin is back in the main event scene because of John Moxley and him putting him over there. So I think there's a lot of good that John Moxley does. And I do hope that people, if you are a wrestling fan, can look past some of the kind of in-your-face violence and look a little bit deeper. But that is not for everyone. And not everyone wants to give that chance to people when they see stuff like that.
Yep.
But it is interesting that he's coming at it from a perspective of, okay, my kids are here. My kids want to watch. They're 12 and 10. And we all thought that this show stunk. Like the kids didn't like it. And that tells me a lot, Zach, about where, like, it's easy for me and you not to like it. And we come on here and we kind of joke about it and make fun of it a little bit. Like, we hold now the WWE not to the same standard as we do AEW and New Japan and some of the other promotions because they've gotten silly.
Yeah.
But we're not parents of 12 and 10-year-olds. So it is different. And Thomas tried to articulate that last time.
Yep.
But I think it's really interesting where, like, I totally agree with him. I think it's easy when you like something. It's like I look past Jerry Jones and I bring up the Cowboys because he did in the email.
Yep.
When people bring up Jerry Jones, I'm like, so you do realize he doesn't make any decisions with the team, right? And they're like, no, he's the owner. He makes all the decisions. So I'm like, no, he doesn't. He actually doesn't make any of the decisions. He just goes out and does post games and does the media and still wants to be in front of everyone and be the hero. So they let him do that. But when it comes to actual decisions, he doesn't make them. He certainly doesn't make them by himself. They might include him in discussions, but he does not make them.
For sure. Search up Will McClay when it comes to decisions for the Cowboys.
Yes, like Will McClay and Stephen Jones too. But Stephen Jones and Will McClay and some of the other guys, they make the decisions for the team. So not everyone either wants to look past that or cares to get past. That team will never win with Jerry Jones as the owner. And it's like, well, I will push past that and I will tell you that that's not, like, I'm not a Jerry Jones guy, but I can see past what's happening here.
Yep.
So I don't love the WWE. I hated the show, but it's not the point that I hated the show. The point is I still don't want people to turn the product off and for it not to matter anymore. And now Thomas saying not only from his point of view, but from his kid's point of view, it is starting to go that way. And that's a little worrisome to me. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting perspective when it comes to the WWE side of things, because I think for so long, too, there is kind of this preconceived notion that, oh, like, it might not be for you or I, Lee Versage, in terms of the WWE product, but there are kids that watch it, and they are the ones that are enjoying it. But sometimes I do think we kind of underestimate kids and their ability to discern what's good and what's bad. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to what's on television in terms of, like, how good of a show something is. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think you mentioned in the email there 10 and 12 are the ages. That's about, you know, around the ages, I would say maybe a little bit older in terms of, like, what you would see for your typical kid that watches professional wrestling. That's just be locked in. So, quality, it doesn't know any age limit, like I can watch the movie Up and know that it's still a great film from Pixar, right? As compared to like some of the lower quality, kids movies that are out there. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting perspective to kind of hear it from that angle, and hear it from another fan who, and we've heard from Tom in the past, like he's somebody that, like, even if I disagree with him, I think he comes in with a very fair, level-headed takes, and even if I disagree with him, I think he does a good job of attacking the point really well. So,
well, and that's why I read this email in particular, because it I don't know, maybe this was a fair review by you and me, and maybe it wasn't.
I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident people will be like, man, Zach was just so over the top on this, and he just doesn't see what they're trying to do here, and that's fine. But I would be doing a disservice if I wasn't telling you how I honestly felt about these shows, and I think that's why people. Well,
I think. Okay, so let's get to your final mark.
Yeah.
Of this show, because what I've noticed in just reading, like, usually to me, when I don't like a show and I give it, I don't know, whatever I give it.
Yep.
I'll go on and see that it's probably 10 to 20% higher from the online crowd when they're like, well, this wasn't that bad, and this was good, and shows that I'm giving a C- or a D+, they're giving like, oh, that was a B. I noticed with this one, there's not a lot, like, I didn't see a lot of reviews, because I actually spent a little bit of going down the rabbit hole trying to find the good reviews, because I couldn't find any. You know what I mean? Like, even the pro WWE fan is like, this one wasn't one of their best.
Yeah.
Like, it was a C. And quite frankly, whether it's Tom's kids that are 10 and 12, or a pure WWE fan, or a person who doesn't enjoy the product, this show was boring. It was boring.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything kind of new and exciting. The only thing you really had to me was the John Cena second last match. What they were going to do. There was a mystery in it for me a little bit, even though it was what I thought they were going to do. I still think they could have gone the other way. But this was as predictable and boring and like stretched out a show as I've seen in a long time. But that's what even the WWE fans are saying. That this is boring. This one wasn't one of their best. And the people who usually give it a B or a B- are giving it like a C-. So I'm really looking forward to your score of the show.
Well, it's not C-, Lee. I'm going to just say that right now in terms of this show.
Cena. It's a Cena-.
It's a Cena-. No, it's definitely not a C-. I mean, when you force me to rank those matches,
feels like C- feels like A+ right now.
I know. God, after watching that show last night, I wish it was a C-. Oh my God. At least it would have been tolerable. Yeah. So, after you force me to rank the matches out of best to worst, which hurt my soul, Lee. I mean, I don't know why you had to do that.
I want you to go back and listen to this review of specifically the men's WarGames and the John Cena match.
Yeah.
And then go back and remember that you voted them first.
As voted to. Yeah, I know. It's settling in.
Yeah. So just listen to how you spoke about the matches.
Yeah.
And then that's where you rank them.
Yeah.
Okay. Just practice. It's an exercise for you later. Yeah.
That was torturous. So I mean, I can't give this a passing grade. That's for sure. I mean, this is a worst show of the year. This is my worst show of the year. I don't know about you. Like, I cannot think of a show that was worse than this year.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah, there was
to me.
The only other one was the TNA show I watched earlier this year. Was like, wow, this is a bad show. But at least there were some funny things that happened where I could laugh at. It's like, oh well, that this was just boring, as you mentioned. I was sitting there bored to tears about what was happening in the ring. And I just, there was so many moments where I'm like, what am I doing with my life as I was watching this show? The moment with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett promoting the action figures, and they had Logan Paul do the backflip, the Logan Paul action figure, and Barrett missed, so they had to do it again. I'm like, I've reached a new low point in watching professional wrestling right now. Like I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, what have I done to deserve this? I feel like I'm a nice guy. I feel like I've done some good things. I feel like this is like retribution against something I did, and I don't know what it is, and I apologize for it. I wanted to apologize so I could stop watching the wretchedness that I was watching throughout the show. This was as bad as some of the Vince stuff, but the Vince stuff gets a lot more critical because some of the Vince stuff was like wacky bad. You know, this was just boring bad, which is like the worst kind of bad it could be. Like, I could at least come on and be like, with some of the Vince stuff where it's like, sure, I saw zombies coming through on the PLE, but it was wacky and different. I hated it, but it was like, it was at least entertaining in terms of like how bad it was. This had no redeeming qualities whatsoever. The best match was like a 2-star match in this. Like, this is a bad show. I'm giving it a 3.
What's your number, Zach? What's your number?
A 3 out of 10. Same as that SummerSlam score I gave years ago, where I had to see Drew McIntyre and CM Punk fight over a charm bracelets. I think there's another run-in during that show, actually. I think they actually ran in during that time. I know I got 17,000 run-ins in that scene. Like, I knew I wasn't going to like that Cena Dom match because I just knew the layout of what it was going to be. It was going to be all smoke and mirrors, and I was going to watch the #1 wrestler, according to ESPN, back-to-back years, under 30 years old, in all of professional wrestling.
Yes.
AEW, New Japan, CMLL, like all of it. Dominic Mysterio, #1. The man that you, Lee Versage, and I'm going to call you out here. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe, including you, Lee.
No,
I'm calling you out,
I'm ready.
Lee. I'm calling you out, Lee. The fact that you said Kyle Fletcher should have not been ahead of Dominic Mysterio in the rankings, and you actually said Kyle Fletcher was behind Dominic Mysterio, and you felt that was a fair rating. I don't think I haven't forgotten that.
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say? I apologize.
I said Dominic Mysterio. To me, we know that Kyle Fletcher and who else is in the top?
MJF, Rhea Ripley.
Oh, MJF.
Yeah.
So, but MJF and Kyle Fletcher, like MJF should have been #1 for sure.
Yep.
And definitely Fletcher ahead. But I said that Dominic Mysterio was still in
the top 5. Yes, you're right. I apologize. I was just in a fit of rage.
And I still will stand by that. I think technically there are better wrestlers than him that are under 30.
Yeah.
But I think with the whole package and what he delivers, and he has this sort of it factor that makes you want to watch him. Whether you want to watch him or not isn't the majority. The majority of people, when he comes on, they don't turn away.
Yep.
So he's got this kind of it thing going on for him. And I think he's a little different in the world of wrestling. Like, he is a true heel that gets cheered for all the time. Like, people love Dominic Mysterio, but he continues, and it, quite frankly, and I brought this up before, and it's not the same in the ring, obviously, but that's what people did with Eddie Guerrero when he was a heel.
Yep. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Where that near fall, that missed near fall, like the crowd was cheering for that against John Cena.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, what? I forgot about that.
So, well, anyway, we'll have a whole other show on the ESPN under 30 list. But so for me, I can tell you what I had written down.
Yep.
It was like and for no reason at all, it was like a 3.3.
3.3.
But I don't. Yeah. I was going to make it a 3.14.
Nice. Like Pi.
Like the life of Pi and but I have some good associations with pie. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
but 3 point, this was an awful show. So this one reminded me of night 2 of WrestleMania.
Mm.
Long, boring, no redeeming qualities, and a terrible run in at the end.
Yep.
Like it fully reminded me of Travis Scott, and not in the same like, but Travis Scott, that run in a main event of a WrestleMania will go down as one of the worst of all time. And I just kept watching this thinking there are 10 unbelievable, like not unbelievable, but there are 10 main talents. And what's really funny is reading a couple of reports before the show about how there was a little bit of sort of dissension around the finish. Like they couldn't quite get on the same page.
Yeah.
Remember that from the Netflix special when they all kind of sat around for Elimination Chamber and they kind of walked through it. And it was even Punk that said, I think, Seth Rollins, you should come over and, curb stomp me so then John can put me in the STF. And like everyone seemed to kind of be on the same page as far as how they got there.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of reports before this show that they are not on the same page of how they're going to get there. Well, no wonder.
Yeah. I'm sure Phil was the one that leaked that out to the media. I'm sure Phil was the one that was like,
well,
I'm taking the pinfall loss because of an Austin Theory run-in tonight. That's what you want me to do? I guess. Sure.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong?
No, he's not wrong at all. I would also be upset. I'd be like, brother, what did you just say to me? Like, is this a rib? You want me to lose because of that? Like he said on the podcast before when they were trying to put over the Shield, ironically enough, Roman Reigns. You remember the Colt Cabana podcast where he said, you know, if you really want to put these guys over, why don't you just have him beat me? Like, why don't you just have Roman Reigns beat me? That guy's not gone. Phil Brooks is still there. He's a volcano.
Well, he gets beat every week, Zach. So yeah, he's still there.
Oh, he's still there. Every week he gets a little bit more mad. I could just see it in his eyes. You could see the volcano just about to erupt in his eyes. Every time he has to go out there and be like, I got to take the pinfall for this guy, and, but he can't do anything about it.
He's going to be going to Saudi again in a few weeks.
Yes. Get excited. Saudi Arabia, Phil.
So quickly, and look, we'll have lots of time.
Yep.
But I'm just going to ask you this. This is not an in-depth discussion because this has been a long show.
Yep.
What is your first instinct? Because their next big show is the John Cena Saturday night's main event. But their next pay-per-view or PLE is the Rumble, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you'd be correct.
So your first instinct after what you saw last night on who you think will win the Royal Rumble?
Braun Breaker. That was my first instinct.
Okay, good. That's all I want.
Yep.
So for me, my first instinct was Roman Reigns.
Yep, I could see that too.
Just from he wins, he doesn't even have to tell them which guy he's going after. They can continue on the storyline.
Yep.
That was my first instinct. But we'll talk about it more as the time gets closer. Zach, it's been a long weekend for you. You've had a lot of stuff going on, B-Sens, and to have to watch this show and do this long a review, you've done a good job. You know what?
Yeah.
Congratulations. A 3 out of 10 job from you on a 3 out of 10 rating for the show.
Yeah. I should get hazard pay for this. I mean, this is just, this was awful.
You should.
Yeah.
No, you got home from other work and hockey right to it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell people you look and sound a bit haggard, but man, I was excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah. As soon as I got back home, I was like, I got to talk about that damn Nikki Bella, Stephanie McGibbon match that I had to watch. And I had to watch
so bad
the 17,000 run-ins in the Cena Mysterio match that I know people loved. And I'm going to be the lone guy. Well, you did. I don't know.
No.
You were neutral on it, whatever. But and look,
that was my top match, Zach. Yeah, that was my top match.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot it was your top match.
Okay, number one, John Cena, Dominic Mysterio.
And look,
why? Because had some elements I liked, and it was really short
Yes,
compared to the other match.
that's true. And look, I also have to apologize for throwing you under the bus like that. You know, in terms of saying that you thought that Dominic Mysterio was better than Kyle Fletcher.
Top 5, but
Yeah.
I said MJF was absolutely number one
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And that Kyle Fletcher would not be far behind.
Yeah. No, I in a fit of rage and thinking about it, I hurt the people that were close to me when I was letting loose, and I have to apologize for that. I mean, this is what 3 out of 10 shows do to you, Lee. It breaks you mentally. Like I'm still thinking about the 26-minute mark of the women's war games, and I'm like, nothing has happened. What? Nothing has happened so far. And then having to see Rhea Ripley come out with the EO Sky trash can, I'm like, oh God, here we go. They're just setting up for it. So it took me back, and I feel bad about it. You know, I feel like I let loose a little bit. Too many people were in the path there, the war path of me. So Zach, I apologize.
I think this has not been a 3 out of 10 show. I think you've done a hell of a job with this show. Okay,
I appreciate that.
So let's take a day or two. Let's have a breather. Get some rest.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to call me right after Monday Night Raw,
sure.
As we record this tomorrow, and I'm sure that'll be
just spectacular. I'll probably you know what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna be sitting down at work. Then I'm gonna remember Michael Cole being like, "How did CM Punk get that cut?" Even though they just showed a camera shot of him earlier getting his face squeezed into the cage and just grinded on the face, and Michael Cole's like, "I don't know where he got this cut from. Where is he bleeding from?" I'm gonna think of that. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I had to watch that." So you might just be prepared for that call. Is that
in the next 13 days, I have to get through them before I don't have to hear anymore about random people saying, I'm just not ready to see John Cena retire. I'm like, are you out of your bleeping mind?
Yeah.
We've had to watch this guy for 14 months in terrible wrestling matches and angles.
Yes.
All to say goodbye, on the longest retirement tour in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
And I get that he's a top guy, but some people just retire.
Yeah.
They're like, that's it for me.
Yeah.
That's it. No. And then people go I know it's been a year, but I just don't know if I'm ready for December 13th. December 13th could be right now.
Yeah.
The time is now. I don't want to watch John Cena anymore.
How can I miss you if you won't leave?
Right. And I'm not even faulting him. It's the whole corporate idea of this thing to make as much possible money as possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's just a yes guy in it, but for all the people, there's I just don't know if I'm ready for it. You know what? I'll make you ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay? 13 days. Gunther's going to squash him. It's going to be awesome. And then goodbye, John.
Yeah.
You've
Clockwork
one of the best
Orange style. We're strapping you into the chair and we're lifting up the
one
eyelids.
Of the best. Okay? And then we'll have to prepare for some sort of AJ Styles / Chris Jericho retirement tours in 2000.
And we got to do this all over again.
Yeah. All right. We'll do this show all over again coming up soon. For Zach McGibbon, I'm Lee Versage. Thanks again for listening to our Survivor Series review on This Is Wrestling.